running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
In case you're interested, Carlos the Edsel, oh God, I'm sorry, this story is getting so old. Carlos the Edsel has a message for Nissan. Now they're going to go back and forth. They're going to yell at each other like kids. Don't blame me for your struggles. This company was turned around by me and was flourishing when I left. Because Nissan's in big trouble. They're hurting. They need this guy. I don't know where this message came from, whatever country he's in right now. Probably Brazil. If I know Carlos, that guy's in Brazil. He's pretty slick, and that's the country where they'll never find him. The other story that I'm tired of, and pretty much tired of, but anyway, it's got to be talked about, is the UAW. The UAW has hired an attorney from Washington, D.C., Bredoff and Kaiser, to investigate claims of a sexual harassment and discrimination against a member of its International Executive Board. As if the UAW didn't have enough problems. Oh, my God. There was 2 female staffers in Region 2B claimed Director Richard Rankin made repeated sexually charged remarks that in one instance escalated to a physical threat. Hello. Oh. Well, in January, after a group of UAW-represented nurses filed a separate formal grievance against the union board involving Rankin. I guess this guy's the Harvey Weinstein of the UAW, right? Hello. Or to Matt Lauer. A union spokesman confirmed Monday they had hired an outside investigator to look into allegations made in Region 2B, but they declined to say who they were against. Oh, come on. You know it, and I know it. These guys, it's just not tolerated anymore. It's not done. And it's not going to be tolerated. You can just forget it. Just hang it up. 6 months back, I reported to you, the listeners, about a whistleblower at Elon Musk's Fremont, California assembly plant, who said that working conditions and safety compliance was virtually non-existent in that facility. And he got fired, of course. Well, last week, the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health, or the Cal-OSHA, we'll call it, is reporting that Tesla executives underreported hundreds of injuries at the plant. In its last report to the investors meeting, and even issued Tesla, OSHA, Cal-OSHA issued Tesla a citation for failing to properly record injuries in its log since 2015. Who in God's name does this Elon Musk guy know? How does he get away with this? How does he get away with this stuff? It's oh my God, I don't know how this guy gets away with it. I just don't. Anyway, we won't get involved. We'll just report it. It's none of my. I'm not in charge. I can't. If I was in charge, you don't want to know if I was in charge. It seems like every week there's a lot of new important developments in the electric vehicle progress. Notice I didn't say exciting. In Colorado, state senators have passed a bill allowing the Rivian company and other electric car and truck makers to sell directly to customers. They did, however, take out any provision that would allow all manufacturers to do the same. So it's okay for the electric companies to sell right to you, direct, and bypass all the dealerships, all the mechanics, all the salesmen, all the clerks, everybody, but not the regular guys. The regular car companies can't do that. This particular move was praised by the Colorado Auto Dealers Association, which vehemently opposed letting the manufacturers sell directly. In other words, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Toyota, Nissan, that kind of a group. Sidestepping the existing dealer network and, of course, costing jobs. And it would. The legislation now goes to the House with a new language that states that selling direct is allowed only if the manufacturer makes only electric vehicles and has no franchise dealers in the state. Oh, you watch Elon Musk jump on this one, guys. Give me a break. He's been waiting for this. He's been waiting for a state to get this way for how long? GM is said to be shooting for leadership in the electric vehicles, with dozens of cars and trucks in development and in-house already. Manufacturing of motors and batteries. They're going to do it in-house. GM has committed $20 billion in electric vehicle development through 2025. Hello? It's here. It's here. It just is. The electric car business, the self-driving is the one that bothers me, but hey, what are you going to do? It's progress. It's coming. It's going to make all the insurance companies happy. You think they're going to cut our rates? Nah. Toyota Motor Company invested $400 million in Pony.ai, Pony AI artificial intelligence, to strengthen its ties with the Chinese provider of driverless car systems. This is to take on U.S. rivals like Alphabet's Waymo and Google and the rest of them. They're after them. They want to do this. Pony AI has 2 testing sites in California, and it runs a pilot service with Hyundai and with Hyundai Motors in Irvine, Orange County, that provides rides to motors of the members of the public. Well, the deal is they're testing these artificial intelligence in these cars. All these car manufacturers want to get in bed with these guys that are artificial intelligence companies. Pony doesn't make a car. They make a system that controls a car. They design systems that run the car. They are artificial intelligence. And I still say, to this day, and I'll say it until my last breath, as far as I'm concerned, artificial intelligence doesn't exist. Why do I say that? Somebody had to program that computer to think up that artificial intelligence. So that artificial intelligence is not artificial, it's George's intelligence, or Jose's intelligence, or whoever programmed the computer to do the artificial intelligence. That computer didn't program itself, okay? And no higher being did that. Only God can do that, okay? Only God can program a human computer. All right, I'll just read it to you. Ford Motor Company said Tuesday it will offer the electric version of the Transit cargo van. Okay, we've been waiting for this in the U.S. and Canada for 2022 model. They want to really strengthen their commercial vehicle. I don't know how electric is going to do that, but it is. Okay, the van will join the F-150 electric vehicle and the Mustang Mach-E. That really makes me mad. They call that a Mustang in Ford's growing electric vehicle portfolio. As the automaker invests $11.5 billion in the technology through 2022. Oh boy, here comes the money. Stand by for dough. 11 billion, geez, oh man. I could probably eat a blue top for a month on that. The way I eat. All right, well, we got to talk about this, and I don't like to, but we got to. There's a couple things that are really hitting the car business bad, and I'm not happy about it, and that is the coronavirus. All the scandals and everything, yeah, that's tough. But the coronavirus and all that, that's just been too much. Let's chalk up another world victim of the coronavirus. In Switzerland, the government has banned any gatherings of 1,000 people or more. So, the organization that produces the Geneva Auto Show, PAL Expo, is all right, is announcing it is canceling the show with no chance of rescheduling it until next year. A lot of automakers had already begun pulling staff from the show prep in anticipation of the move after an outbreak of the virus that is paralyzing areas in northern Italy that borders Geneva. So they're right across the border from each other. So that's people that live in Italy and Switzerland are always going back and forth. And if the virus is bad there, it's going to be in Geneva too. You remember last week we talked about how the virus that began in China is shutting down parts supplying plants and causing shortages around the globe, as well as halting overseas shipments of vehicles made there. Well, automakers in Japan especially, as well as America, are really starting to feel the lack of fresh parts. The shipments to this point where we may see some shutdowns right here at home. It's time to get some medicines and prevention drugs out to the general public. It's time to get this thing cured. I always said that an American car shutdown, or car world shutdown, would cripple our country. And it will. And trust me, it will. The New York Auto Show, postponed until August. So far. I've got some headlines here. Coronavirus on the car business that we got to talk about. Italian auto industry braces for effects of a nationwide lockdown. And I have some late breaking stuff. It's kind of cool. News out of Italy. The automotive industry is bracing for a potential fallout from a nationwide lockdown to stop the spread of the coronavirus that has killed nearly 500 people in Italy. Italy's prime minister has called the outbreak the country's darkest hour. Who do you think he is, Churchill? Despite the dire warnings, automakers and suppliers continue to operate on Tuesday. FCA said there's been no problems thus far receiving parts from suppliers. Well, when asked about the status of its retail network in Italy, FCA spokesman said, so far they are open, although customer traffic is slow. Ferrari, Maserati, and several other vehicle component suppliers contacted by A&E also said they were open for business on Tuesday. This is possible because Italy's lockdown includes a provision for proven working needs. That means employees are allowed to go do their jobs. So you don't have to stay home. Well, that was yesterday. That's how fast this thing is going. This afternoon, I got a hot one popped up on me while I was getting ready for the show. Late breaking, very late breaking, like an hour ago. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles said Wednesday it will start implementing temporary closures at some of its Italian plants. And Italy's largest dealer group said it will shut down its doors until April 3rd to combat Europe's worst outbreak of the coronavirus. FCA's move affects plants that account for 600,000 units a year, or 4% of European vehicle production. Brutal. And the Italian mega dealer Autorina is closing down. They're all shutting down because of the coronavirus. Till further notice. Oh yeah, it just gets better. More corona, more headlines. The impact of the coronavirus outbreak on automobile output and demand will shave 100 billion yen. 170 billion yen. That's $1.6 million. Wow. From the profits of Japan's top 5 automakers. That's what Goldman Sachs is reporting. Okay. Total sales for all global automakers are now projected to sink 3.5% in 2020. Again, Goldman Sachs talking. All told, the 5 manufacturers will build 580,000 fewer cars from January through April. Again, Goldman Sachs. Going to be a tough one, guys. Going to be a tough one. Okay. Toyota dealership employee tests positive for coronavirus near Seattle. I knew this was coming. Seattle is the point of impact. It's the port of entry for all cars coming out of Japan. And the cars coming out of Japan have parts coming from China. So you're going to have, anyway, here, an employee of a Washington State Toyota dealership has tested positive for the coronavirus. This was from last week. The store confirmed on social media. Toyota of Kirkland, that's the name of it, has opted to close the store for deep cleaning and disinfecting. This according to a statement, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they had to notify the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. Those cars are coming over here from China, and guess what? They're not clean. No, they're not.